Friday. Kind of a ridiculously sad day. I mean, finger's still broken, but basically I spent a lot of time yesterday listening to the Young Turks about the two shootings. One in Minnesota and one in Baton Rouge. I almost said Los Angeles because I was thinking Louisiana, which their postal code was LA. That's where my brain went there, because I'm a little bit shaky. Now, they were, whether or not the guy, they both had guns on them. One of them was legalized to carry, and he didn't, like, it was, I'm forgetting which, I think the one in Minnesota was the one in the car. And then the one in Baton Rouge was the one in front of the convenience store. Because between the Young Turks and the Daily Show and even my local news, the stories are happening at the same time. So I'm losing track. I'm having trouble pulling out. This isn't as separate as water and oil. I can't just like look from a different angle and see which one's different. You know, so sort of be like if I mixed, you know, the yellow and the other yellow, while I can see somewhat of a difference between them, if I mix the two, I couldn't pick them apart. That was kind of a poor analogy, but the substance is there. And so as I'm sitting down last night with tacos and I'm watching, Aaron and I are embarking on Parks and Rec, and I look at my phone and apparently Dallas happened. No, Dallas did happen, I shouldn't say that. And so I'm just like, wait, what? You know, and this time it was cops that are shot. You know, and I woke up this morning and I finally got the numbers that it was 11 total shot, 5 of which were killed. One of those was just I don't know their system. We have a different system up here for mass transit, and our transit cops are not the same as our regular cops, but I believe they go through the same training. They're just, but they're not like rent-a-cops. And I think to myself, and I've thought yesterday about whatnot, and I just like, so we've got, I don't know what to do. I live in, the Portland metro area. It's predominantly white. I've heard, some of the people from the LGBT community say that, they need equality for everyone, and Portland is the whitest city in America. And I'm like, all right. Portland isn't diverse at all. Okay, it may not be diverse, but it's sure inclusive. It's just, people are so laid back around here. But more to the point of what I'm trying to say is, am I afraid? Since Orlando, I didn't go to clubs much to begin with. And even when I did, I didn't fear that, but that was also the early 2000s. I mean, I'd been to gay clubs since then, but when I was really frequenting gay clubs was prior to 9/11. Dating myself. And so, I don't have to worry about that one. I don't think it's going to happen in Portland. It could. Shootings have happened in Portland. But the one thing that gets me is, now that cops are all on edge, like all of them, like ever since Ferguson and then this and it's been gaining steam, rolling. This, in my lifetime, this went back all the way to Rodney King. And I still don't know all the details about that one. And this went back further than that, but from what I know, from what I remember, this was like Rodney King happened, and then there was several incidents, and then like Ferguson happened, and everyone talked about Rodney King then. And then we've got this, and then, and it's just like, it's a snowball. It's snowballing. And I can't think about, You know, it's like, what do I do? I'm white, you know, and I look around at my life, I look around at my apartment, and I'm fucking privileged as shit. You know, I have, you know, a shitty income, but I still live in a nice one bedroom. You know, it's a one bedroom, but it's nice. My mom pays my phone bill. Aaron pays the utilities. You know, I'm fucking privileged as shit. I can play football. But I can't complain. It feels like I can't complain about anything. That I can't express my fear because I'm white. I kind of come from at least a middle-class family. I haven't really had much violence in my past. Yeah, I've had my little exposition into drugs, and I've been... all that stuff. You know, I've had a past. It's not... I've even had a couple run-ins with cops. Now, nothing bad. I didn't do anything wrong. Well, okay, one of them I did, but it was... the very first time I ever had a real run-in with a cop, I was walking back from a McDonald's up in Vancouver with my friend Joe. And I don't know him now. Nobody's brought him up at all, actually, on the vlogs ever. Anyways, and we were walking back from McDonald's. We literally had I had a bag in my hand with half a thing of fries, half a thing of large fries, and a second Big Mac. Because at that time, and I remember this very clearly, they were like, buy a Big Mac meal, get a free Big Mac. Or get a Big Mac for $1 or something like that. So I was like, what the hell? I'm like 16. I need all the calories I can get. So I went up there. I bought a number one. And I got an extra Big Mac for $1. I ate the Big Mac, ate half my fries, refilled my soda, and we walked back to Joe's place, which was like half a mile from the McDonald's. But we passed by a convenience store. But on our way to the convenience store, about half a block back, someone robbed it. And... the cops saw me and my friend walking towards the convenience store with our sodas and our bags of food, and they turned around, they drop our sodas and get down on our knees, they handcuffed us and put us in the back of police cars, and we sat there for like 10-15 minutes until the convenience store clerk came out and, shall we say, positively identified us as not the people. I don't want to say negatively identified us, but it's positively confirmed that we weren't the people. And they pulled us out, and like I looked over and our food was strewn all over the place. Like, cause, you know, and the cops like apologized, and they thought there was like weapons in the McDonald's bag, and they kicked over the drinks, and I was like I was completely baffled. I was like, what the... I was 15, 16 years old. Younger. I was in junior... whatever. I don't remember... I was friends with Joe. I wasn't friends with Joe in high school. He went to a different high school. That was junior high. Whatever. But this was... mid-90s. So... And then later I got a speeding ticket when I was driving. Okay. Aaron's gotten a speeding ticket. I've gotten in a car accident. Pretty much totaled the car. I did total the car. It's almost like saying near miss. Anyways. And then the more recent one where I did actually something wrong. Our phones died on the way back from Comic-Con. And we had e-tickets. So we tried to get off the Max station, at the nearest Max station, to buy new tickets because our phones died. And the transit cops basically cited us because we were trying to get off to buy tickets because our phones died. They didn't accept this. They ticketed us for having a ride for free because we couldn't prove that we were going to do that. We thought maybe we were trying to skip out. Whatever, we paid the fine. The problem is, I was trying to do the right thing. And I had an autistic meltdown. Right there on the train platform. Not the one here. More downtown Portland. And I can just imagine... And that was two years ago? That was before the major snowballing effect of, you know, Ferguson and Black Lives Matter and stuff. And it was just like, what... How do we what do I do now? What happens if, you know, anything weird happens and a cop comes up to me and I have a meltdown? And I freeze. Because that's what my defense mechanism does. Is I freeze. But I will start muttering to myself, as I did on the train platform. Thank God Aaron was there and could tell him that this was happening. And the cops really didn't do anything because I wasn't technically attacking anyone. I was just muttering to myself. I wasn't screaming, from what Aaron says. But I was blacked out. I don't really remember it, but this was fairly embedded in Aaron's brain. So he knows where and when and all what happened. So, but it's like, what happens? The cops are totally on edge now. If someone does not act the way they're expecting to act, I don't have a gun. I'm not even registered for a gun. I have some decorative swords that may or may not be sharp. And I have some keeplets. The worst thing I have for a weapon is a camera. Really. And I don't know what to do. I don't know how to fear. Because the moment I try to fear something, and the moment I try to express a little bit of fear, I've got a whole host of people that I know in real life, they're in the black community, who you don't understand. Why? Well, because you're white. Alright. Never mind Orlando and the fact that, even though it is Portland, there are still some people that ridiculously hate people in the LGBT community. And one of those can snap. Or the fact that the cops are on edge, and if they're not in the right mindset, they could think that I'm going to be a threat, even though I'm white. And they could do harm to me, unintentionally. If I'm driving around and I get stopped for just some reason whatsoever, I don't know, I drive a Prius. Who's going to stop me in Portland for speeding, you know, for whatever, you know? But it's like, here's the thing, the guy in Minneapolis got pulled over for a broken taillight. I drive a car, it's a Prius, it's 10 years old, it's got over 100,000 miles on it, barely, but 6 digits. What if my taillight goes out? And I'm not having a great day. Which, God forbid I be human and be perfect every fucking day. And a cop comes up to me and he says license and registration, and I am in the process of melting down. But I'm doing my best to keep calm and keep quiet. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm blacked out most likely. And not going to remember the situation. And so I looked up this morning. What cop shoot autistic man. Cop shoot autistic boy. There was a YouTube video a while back where an autistic, I thought it was a woman. My bad, I didn't really watch the video because it's hard to watch those videos. Wound up being a transgender person, and the one that made the video where the dog was pawing at them, because this is how in a meltdown happens, that the dog was trying to calm them down, like a couple years later, got shot and killed because they were having a meltdown. I don't know what was going on with the meltdown. Because there wasn't much media report about it. About the meltdown. There was media reports because there was a transgender person got gunned down by cops because they were not doing anything. And I know that there have been a couple people around here in Portland that have been like compliant with cops. Compliant. 100%. Doing everything they said. But they were in the process of a meltdown, or they were autistic themselves and had no control over their voice. Some autistic people just speak loud and flatlined. Other people speak really, they can speak very monotone. I've run across them where they also speak really meek. At this day and age, I don't know what's going to set a cop off. Do I be loud? Do I be diplomatic? Apparently, that doesn't work. But, who does it fucking matter? I'm white. I could go down to a Black Lives Matter, don't shoot PDX, all that happy jazz. But I ain't gotta, I could go back on my ancestry registry thing and probably find something, but To most of these people, I don't got a colored bone in my body. And so my fears and my concerns mean nothing. Because I don't understand. But I do fear. I do fear having an anxiety attack in public. And the cops in a heightened state right now freaking out. That's that. I don't know what to do. Because I can't really complain to people, so I complain to the vlogs. I don't really know, and I fear for all the other autistic people out there that, are lesser functioning than me, but still in the HF range. What happens to them if they aren't looking the cop in the eye? Because they can't. I mean, I can barely look the camera in the eye. Right there. I look over at the screen. It's really hard to point. Use my pinky. There's the camera. But I look at myself. And I can look at myself because I'm not actually looking at myself. I can't stare at myself in the mirror. I can't do it in the mirror. I've tried. It weirds me out to look at myself in the eye. I can't look at Aaron in the eye. I try to. And if the cop wants me to look at them, and I'm not looking at them, but I'm sort of doing this, who knows? Kind of makes me not want to leave, especially if I know I'm having a bad day. Because, what happens if the car gets a broken taillight? Whatever. It's a fucked up world. It's a fucked up country right now. And I keep making the joke that if I had the money, I'd be on exit strategy at this point. Between the elections and the cops and whatnot, I just want to go over to Central Eastern Europe, just plop down, find a little house, use Duolingo to learn the language, and just play football. Because YouTube still works over there. My job can follow me. I wouldn't follow Aaron. But technically the fact that I'm thinking this means I've already started exit strategy. The first thing to finding a solution is admitting the problem. And so, that's a strange stretch, but that's this. I'm already in the process of thinking about it. Because there isn't anything I can do. Really. Can't go march with crowds because too many people get me social anxiety. And if I start having a meltdown amongst a group of people, either the crowd is going to freak out on me because they don't understand autism, or the cops that are there to protect the entire thing are going to think I'm in the process of freaking out and will do something against me. I don't like where this is going. It's getting too fast, too much. Too much, too fast. So I guess if I can, I'm going somewhere. Right now, I'm financially trapped. I'll catch you guys this weekend.